I'm here today with the cast of Ombis 2, Alien Awakening.
I'm Sean C. Sanders. My character I play is the nemesis of Ombis 2, and I'm a local actor in Buffalo. Been acting over 20 years now. Done mostly film work and different, obviously creature acting and such. I like to dabble here and there.
My name is Paige Cummings. I played Haley Greenheart in Ombis 2. I'm so excited to be here today. I just moved back to the Buffalo area working in theater and film. I lived in LA for 3 years, so I'm so excited to be back and making Buffalo film.
And Jason John Beebe, who plays Mark Lowe. Tell us about your character.
Yes. Well, in the first Ombis movie, I'm basically the hero character. Basically goes through a whole bunch of crap in the movie to try to save everybody. And at the end of the movie, he gets taken up by an alien ship. And now in Ombis 2, we kind of find out where he's been all this time as he continues his journey.
Okay. Sean, I'd like to start with you. How is it to work in the bulking costume of the Nemesis?
When you do creature acting, when you play a certain character so many times, like you get used to the costume, but sometimes it could be comforting, it could be a little uncomfortable, and it did take some getting used to putting on the Nemesis costume at first. But after a while, I started to get used to it more and be able to move more and like move around and everything. So, but it was definitely a fun experience. Definitely, I enjoyed it.
Were there any other creature characters that you've seen in the past that inspired you?
Yeah, I'm a big horror fan, so I watch a lot of horror movies, like especially creature monster movies, obviously. But one thing I learned a lot too is like how to move, how to take your time when doing creatures like that.
Okay, Paige, can you explain a little bit about Haley's trouble with the law in Ombis?
Oh, yes. As you know from Ombis 1, Haley already had a bit of a relationship with the police, causing a little bit of trouble, but it was a pretty good relationship she had with the police officer in the first film. In the second film, she moves slowly from the front of the cop car to the back of the cop car in cuffs. She is, having a bit of trouble adjusting to life after the invasion. She really feels that she's the only person speaking out and sharing about what happened, and it's very isolating for her, and I think that's what causes her to act out and get those cuffs put on her.
Jason, you worked with Sarah Manzella again in this movie. What was it like to come back to working with her again, and that experience? Was it like old times? What was it like?
Yeah, well, I mean, I love Sarah. She's always super pleasant on set. She's a really nice person outside of filming. And in the first movie, we spent a lot. I mean, we played boyfriend and girlfriend in the first movie. We spent a lot of time together, and we always worked off each other really well. We had good chemistry, I think. And this is like 13 years later, and we didn't spend nearly as much time in the second movie as we did the first. But yeah, it was just like no time had passed.
Reconnecting with an old friend. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Paige, tell me, what is your favorite way to relax?
Oh,
I know, it seems like
gosh.
nothing to do with the movie, but after a stressful movie, you probably have to relax. So.
Yeah, I mean, while filming Ombis, a lot of dialogue for me, a lot of some stressful days, just a lot of stuff going on. I did get a whole building dropped on me, so it wasn't a tornado, like a lot of stuff going on. And honestly, just being able to be with my family and friends and just to be with them after was just rewarding. I was living in LA at the time of filming, so being able to come back to Buffalo and see all my family and see just like old friends and stuff was just a really great experience on top of filming the feature.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice perk on the side. Jason, what's your favorite book, movie, or TV show?
That is The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Okay.
Yes.
Sean, can you describe a character that you portrayed that was particularly challenging for you, and how did you prepare for that role?
If I had to say challenging, one Adam's project I worked on, the Horrific Evil Monsters, and I'll also add the Grim miniseries, Grim Life is now called. I played a Grim Reaper, and normally I'm used to doing a lot of physical work when it comes to doing mostly like monster work that I've done, but this is more patience, is less movement, and also with the voice and the timing, they had to be very monotone, so very like less aggressive, but just more kind of patient with it. It was challenging at first, but then after a while, I got used to it, and it turned out great.
The reaping will happen, one way or another.
And usually in indie films, especially if they're like horror or sci-fi, you really get used to having a lot of stuff applied to you.
Feeling slimy.
Yeah. Like in Ombis 1, I think I had everything on me at one point that all the actors combined in the movies had on them. And yeah, Ombis 2, Phil, Beath, and Jill, they're really good at what they do, and I know them, long working relationships. So basically sit there and let them do what they want to do and talk if you can between. Actually, the only difference between this makeup is that Kristen put my contacts in and out because I hate contacts. So that was a new experience.
Back to Paige. Do you have any experience working with specific acting techniques, and how do you incorporate them into your work?
I'm part of the idea that I don't think actors should follow one specific technique. Not to knock anyone who does, but I think that acting is a shop around game where you should pick and choose things from different methods that work for you and apply them to yourself, because I'm never going to be Stanislavski. I'm never going to be Meisner. I should take the things that work for me and move forward with them. I do practice empathetic acting, which is where I take the character and I try to relate to them on an empathetic level, whether it's just through like relating to an experience or just being able to feel empathy for the character. I really try to do that with every character I play, even the villains, because and that is tricky sometimes, but I think you should always be able to find empathy for the character you're playing, because they are, at the end of the day, still a person or not.
How were you able to bring empathy and connect with Haley?
Yeah,
Since she's changed so much in this movie.
I mean, a lot of just my work on this was to, I didn't watch Ombis too much, but to watch the scenes of the original actor who did it, and to not like copy what she did, but to look at it and say, well, how can Haley grow from here, and how can she develop from that starting point? Because basically there's a whole chunk of time between 1 and 2 that is just free reign for me to play with, which is kind of a gift as an actor, and I loved just getting to play around with it. And I think Haley is a really special character because she has been just like speaking her mind so directly and trying to be so open and honest, and everyone around her is just telling her she's wrong, basically gaslighting her and just not listening, and she never wavers in her truth. And I think that that's a very important thing that I can relate to as well.
Did you find yourself bringing up like some angst because you could feel that in the character in regards to her anger over not being like listened to?
Yeah,
what was going on?
It's a thing where if you are there and you are looking at people you've known all your life, like we do a scene in a support group.
Yeah.
And Haley knows all these people saw all the same things as her, and they're all just pretending it didn't happen. And she's like, how can you all be okay with pretending that this is not happening? And I think it's a little relevant also to today. So, so I just love that about the film. I think to be able to kind of take things that are happening in our real world, but to put them a spin on them and make them put in a digestible, fun way for people is just, I think that's what media is all about. Movies and theater is all about.
How did you create a connection within that character?
Okay, so I have a very weird technique. Sometimes we look at like creatures, like animals and stuff like that. You kind of like I won't say copy, but you kind of see how they adapt to like habitat, to the environment that they're in and such. So when doing like a character like an alien creature, obviously there's whatever the director wants that character to be, basically. So if it has animal instincts, I'll kind of like add to that, or if I want you to stand a certain way, or just I want him to kind of speak or not speak, or just look menacing and such. So I don't know, I guess it depends on what kind of character I'm playing. I guess like it varies.
How was it to work with Adam and having Adam direct you, considering more of your character was driven by him than by yourself, compared to Paige's character, which was driven a little bit more by her and the script? What was that like for you?
Well, I know with compared to the nemesis on the first movie, I know we got a small brief of that one, but for this one, we get to see more of him. So it was a lot more to, I would say, big shoes to fill. I mean, pun intended. But yeah, to work with Adam, he definitely had a idea of like how he wanted this nemesis to be, like how he wanted to look, how he wanted to stand, like how he wanted to when fighting and such.
Jason, you were in the first film, so have you seen any transition with Adam as a director in regards to the first film to the second film? What have you noticed about that?
The only difference, I'll be honest, is that the first film, we were all still kind of fresh at this, and we were making a feature, and it was a lot of fun. And everyone was very lighthearted and a lot of joking around. Not that didn't happen in the second movie. Like the first Ombis is still my first or my favorite movie set I've ever been on, and I've done quite a bit since then. The second one, I would say the only difference is that, you know, everyone becomes weathered a little bit, so it was maybe a little bit more cut and dry.
Paige, do you have any experience in regards to working with other characters that were similar to this character, or did she just come into your head based on the script and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been drawn to like strong female characters.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that they exist, especially in media where they are not predominantly featured. Yeah. I think I said this before, but to watch Jason in the first movie and then in the second one to basically become Jason's character,
yeah.
And get to take on that mantle of being the hero, I feel like that's not something we see a lot in this genre. So that was just something that was really special to me. I've always been drawn to strong female characters, and I don't think Kaylee's an exception to that. I'd like to talk about my machine gun.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
Her and her machine gun.
I have a machine gun.
We don't have the machine gun on the set,
today,
but
I asked for it to be here. Should have put that in my contract. Next time for the third.
Reflecting on what Paige said, that first of all, like what you said about watching me in the first one and being able to take that on, I take that as a compliment. So I mean, that's cool. I like hearing that, but I also want to say that I think it's awesome that you're able to be the star in this one as a female lead and hero, and you ran with it. I think that's really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
I appreciate that. Yeah, one of my favorite moments on set was when the first Ombis poster is a guy standing with his back with the burning city all around him, holding the machine gun. And Adam said, "Okay, Paige, go up there and turn around and like put the machine gun down." And I was like, "We're remaking the first picture." And I was like, that's so cool. So to recreate the poster with me in it, I was like, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the symbolism in that was really great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been great to talk to everybody today. I can't wait to see the next movie. I enjoyed Ombis 1, and I'm looking forward to seeing Ombis 2. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.